Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I've been getting a lot of requests about how my fasting days look, and since it's February, I thought that maybe it would be time to get my annual fasting out of the way. So today is my first day of fasting. I will be fasting for 3 weeks, so that is 21 days. And from this day on, I decided to journal, but not only journal, to take notes on everything that is happening throughout the day. How am I feeling? What am I doing? So if any of you decides or would like to try prolonged fasting, you will have, well, at least some idea of what you may expect. So in today's video, we are going to go over my first day of fasting. So I hope that you will join me in this first day of my fasting experience. So grab your tea, coffee, or in my case, freshly squeezed apple juice, and let's get going. In today's video, I'm going to talk about my first day of fasting, and as if you have been following my journey so far, you know that I have been fasting for the past, it's going on 28 years now. So I am experienced in this field. But I have never really talked or vlogged or even wrote about what my fasting days look like. Until last year, I never really thought about that fasting, like there will be something different or something, I don't know, something somebody would like to know about. But since this is a fasting channel, let's dive into the first day. I've got my notes. I have been taking notes all throughout the day. So let's get started. Because I know that every year when I start, the first day is really somewhat hectic. I decided to get my work done ahead of time. So yesterday I've prepared my vegetables because I'm doing a juice fasting. The juice is made out of vegetables, 4 types of vegetables. We will be going all through the details in another video, but just so you know that I am squeezing 4 types of vegetables each day. I have freshly squeezed vegetable juice, and because I went to work today, I didn't want to be overwhelmed with the first day because I had to do a lot in the morning before I got to work. So I got the juicing and the first tea out of the way yesterday evening. And also my husband decided to join me on my fasting journey this year. Last year he did not, but this year he decided he needs a bit of detoxification himself. So I will have a good experience, or you will have a good idea about fasting from both, let's say, genders. Okay, so as I said, let's see my notes. I cooked my kidney tea yesterday because kidney tea has to be drunk first thing in the morning, 3 times a day, but it has to be drunk cold. So I cooked it yesterday evening along with the juiced vegetables that I did, that I juiced yesterday also before going to bed. This morning, on the first day of fast, there's always a bit of preparation. Why? Because you have to weigh yourself and you have to measure yourself. Well, this is just my preference, but I like to know what I'm starting with, and I like to see the finished product after the end of 3 weeks, so I'll know if my fasting journey was successful. So this morning I got up at, I think, 5:40, about 5:40, and I cooked the rest of my teas. I weighed myself and I measured myself and did basically everything else I do every morning to prepare my kids to go to school before I go to work with my husband. So everything done. We will go over my notes about the weighing and everything in tomorrow's video on the second day, because it's almost 10 o'clock in the evening and I'm exhausted after the first day, like I always am. So tomorrow I will not be going to work, because I'm usually very tired the second and the third day. So because tomorrow is Friday, I will have tomorrow off, and I have basically 3 days to pick myself up and start a new week with basically the fifth day of fast. But what else did I do? I don't drink my... why the vegetable juice? Yes, I forgot to mention this. My fasting method is after the Broy's fasting method, and I prefer this fasting method only for one simple reason. You are not hungry when you're fasting, and this vegetable juice is the culprit for not being hungry. Why? Because it fills you up, just one sip and I'm done. And one side effect of this juice is that it really tastes... how should I say this? Disgusting would be a very harsh word, but it's very close, and the smell is also very distinct. So last night when my husband and I were preparing the juice, it was, ooh, my kitchen smelled like... I don't have the words for it. But it keeps you full. And at about 10 o'clock in the morning, my husband calls me to work and he says, "Have you drunk it already?" I said, "No, I'm not hungry yet." And he said, "I tried it. My office, the people in the office just ran away." I said, "Is it that horrible?" And he said, "Yes, okay, it's the first day, it's bound to be horrible." But I did try it 2 hours later. I had my first sip of the vegetable juice at, I think it was 12 o'clock or at noon. And by that time, I didn't feel anything. I wasn't hungry, I wasn't anything, but I said, okay, I think it's a little headache is coming about, and it's usual for the first day of fasting. But I thought it was because of the fact that I hadn't eaten anything until that point. So I had my first sip of my juice and two things happened. First, the first sip is always, and every other one for me at least, you have this heavy feeling in your stomach. You're not hungry anymore, but you have this heavy feeling in your stomach like you've eaten a whole dinner plus dessert. It's incredible just after one sip. And the second strange thing is, until that point, you don't feel anything, but after you've tried this, or after you tasted or drank your first sip of vegetable juice, my waist is usually too tight and I have to unbutton my jeans or anything I'm wearing, because it's like, I don't know, for you guys you won't be able to get the reference, but for women it's the same as when you are pregnant. You're not showing anything yet, but everything is tight. So this is the same feeling when you have the first sip of vegetable juice. But after about 2 hours, I went for a short walk during my lunch break, and it was really a slow walk. It's incredible. When you start with the juice, everything slows down. It's like my body knows this is time when you start fasting, and my body slows down. My movements are slower. My walk is slower. I don't have as much energy, especially in the first days, as I did before I started drinking the vegetable juice. It's incredible, the transformation. So I went on a really slow walk. But when I came back, I started having this, it's not exactly nausea, but you feel too full. Even after 2 hours of one sip of the vegetable juice, I felt so full. And since I had the first sip at about 12 o'clock, so at noon, at 2 o'clock I've started to get really sleepy, like I was in digestion mode, like I had, I don't know, Christmas dinner 2 hours ago. So sleepy, very slow and tired. It was like an energy, a sugar rush or energy crash. And also, I have my own office and I don't have to worry about having all of the teas on my table and the vegetable juice inside of the refrigerator. But I am going, you know, around the office, and I'm talking to people. I have my morning coffee with my colleagues, and for the past, I don't know, 10 years, I have never told anybody that I'm fasting. They know afterwards because they notice the difference, but on the day and on the weeks when I'm fasting, I don't like to tell anybody that, because I don't like to answer all of those questions that are that I don't particularly like to answer when I'm fasting. You know, are you sure? Could this be dangerous? Are you sure you wouldn't want a steak? Are you sure you're not going to get sick? You know, people mean well, but in that period, it's not exactly helpful. And also one more, well, not exactly bad thing, but one more side effect of fasting, which I have noticed today when I got home. I have extremely low tolerance for misbehaving kids or for stupidity, let's say. I am cranky. When I'm fasting, I'm cranky. Every guy and every woman who has ever been hungry, who has ever had hungry children, know that hungry children are really, really cranky. Well, I'm not hungry, but my body thinks I am, so it's cranky. So for the next 3 weeks, my boys know that their mommy is not going to be as tolerant as she usually is. What else? Yes, after my first initial sip, I only had 2 more big sips of the vegetable juice this day, and that's it. So I think that I drank about 100 milliliters of it, so it's really not much. 3 sips and I am not hungry at all. And this indulgence that I have is when darkness falls and when everything goes quiet, my kids are in bed already. Because we are fasting both, we squeeze ourselves either apple juice or freshly squeezed oranges or pineapples or something like that. It's not much. It's like this much in the coffee cup. This is a really big cup. It's not as full. But it's an indulgence after the day of horrible vegetable juice and all of the teas that you have to drink just to keep up with your immunity system and to keep up with your kidneys processing the toxins that are getting out. So the little indulgence in the evening is very, very good. And we are looking forward to it. So this is the best end of the day. each day when you are fasting. Also, today I didn't cook for my kids because my mother cooked for them. But usually it doesn't bother me cooking or sitting behind the table and watching them eat, smelling all the wonderful aromas of the lunch or the dinner. But today, thank God, my mother stepped in and she said, "You go and rest, I will take care of the kids." So today it was mostly about resting, getting slowly getting used to the idea that my body is not going to get any food, any solid food in the next 3 weeks. So yeah, it's been an adventure. So basically, it's not all bad. I don't feel terrible. I just feel tired. But I told you before that I haven't written down anything from my fasting days from the past. Well, that's not exactly true. I did write down about my last fasting experience, and that was last year. So I prepared my notes. They were in the they are on a computer because I wrote on a computer, and I would like to read to you what my first day, a little less than a year ago, was like. So if you bear with me, I'm getting my computer. I hope it's still working. It is. So last year I started on April 4th. Today is the 13th of February, because February is such a short month and it's still cold and there are no seasonal vegetables or fruits out there. It's really easier for me to fast in February, because April was very hard on that topic, because there were a lot of fresh vegetables out there already. There were strawberries, some of them growing in the greenhouse, so it was challenge. But okay, let's see what I wrote last year. I started on the April 4th. It was day one. My first diary was at 8:30. I had a strange dream this morning. I can't quite picture it, but it was strange. But no matter the dream, I woke up excited. It's finally today when I get my health back in order. Today I start fasting. I did my weighing and I was shocked. It seems I picked up more than I thought during the holidays. My morning weigh was 76.9 kilograms, just for the intermezzo. This year it was 77.6, so I'm even heavier this year. I stepped on a scale twice just to be sure. When I took the kids to school, my fasting morning ritual began. I prepared all the teas, reading the instructions again. I know them by heart by now, but you can never be too sure. And I boiled the water. I prepared my cups. They are different than last year. I chose only the ones that I like. One more thing to look forward to. How many times a year do I drink from 5 different cups in one day? That's a fair point. The preparing of the teas took longer than I expected, but I'm confident I'll be better at it tomorrow. Now, all I need to do is prepare the vegetable juice. I've been putting it off as long as possible, but my head is starting to hurt and I'm hungry. No wonder. By this time yesterday, I already drank 2 cups of tea, each with a teaspoon of honey in it. My body is craving the sugar already, and it's not even 9 o'clock yet. This year, I don't have any sugar cravings yet. I was very surprised. But last year, I started with sugar very early in the morning. Yes, I remember that. Then the next log is at 9:30. I've prepared the vegetable juice. I don't know if it's the vegetables or I forgot how it tastes, but the first sip wasn't that bad. I do feel the heaviness in my stomach, probably drinking too much. my headache has subsided, so that's a good thing. So it looks like it's repeating itself. The juice wasn't bad. It wasn't bad for me either, but for my husband it was horrible. And the headache was due to my hunger, like it was here. But this year I lasted until 12 o'clock. Last year I was hungry at 9 in the morning already. Then the next entry into my journal was at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Just got back from the store. I needed to get a couple more groceries for the boys' dinner. I forgot how tight my jeans are. See? Well, they weren't yesterday, but today I drove with one button open, not to stress my stomach too much. It was the same last year as this year. I don't have any cravings. Even at the store, I went right past the sweets and fruits. I have some burping problems, but nothing major. This is another side effect from the vegetable juice. I start burping it's not liquid, it's only the taste that it gets back into the mouth, and it's not a pleasant experience. Oh yeah. Of course, my best friend called and invited us on a party dedicated to a barbecue opening season. Even though she cancelled when she heard about my first fasting day, I talked her into it. Going through with it, it will be a day well spent. I won't have any difficulties, I'm sure of it. Well, we'll know in 2 days' time if I was wrong. And then another entry at 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Lunch is over. I had no problems sitting by the dining table while the guys ate. Why would I be? I cooked it, but I miss chewing already. It's a clear sign that this fast was a long time overdue. I also drank quite the amount of the juice, which surprised me. I'm usually not hungry, but today my body seems to be adjusting to the no food intake. I'm surprised no sugar cravings appeared yet, but I am tired. I knew I would be, just not this early in the fast. But it's only 5 o'clock and I am finding it hard to concentrate. I wonder if it would be a good idea to finish for today and read a good book instead. I haven't done everything on my to-do list, but I suppose I have to adjust my energy levels for these 3 weeks. But then my last entry was at 10 o'clock at night. It's the same hour it is now, so I guess that time frame repeats itself. It's 12 o'clock, it's 10 o'clock, so I should be in bed an hour ago. I just couldn't persuade myself to sleep. I wasn't tired. I made myself my evening treat, so freshly squeezed apple juice, and sipped it all through the evening. I also started watching MasterChef again, 4 episodes. It's so interesting how I always watch cooking shows when I'm not eating. I had to brush my teeth extra this evening since the hairy feeling wouldn't go away. It's so funny, my tongue and teeth feel like they have hairs on them. Today was surprisingly a good day, and I hope that I don't have a setback tomorrow. I'm not out of the woods yet. The first 3 days are usually the worst. So that was my entry for last year. April 4th was my first day of fasting in 2024. This year, as I said, we are starting a bit earlier. But I would like to say that despite the tiredness, despite the waist not being exactly as wide as it should be, or the sickness feeling in my stomach when I start drinking the tea, the vegetable juice, it's been a good day. Why? Because I am happy that it started. I've been postponing it for, I think that 3 weeks now, because of my because I was sick. I had incredible, very persistent cold and a sinus infection, and I didn't want to go on a fast before my body healed. Now that I am healed and I don't have the sniffles anymore, I can go on the fasting journey. So a bit too late, a bit late, but it doesn't matter. We will get through this. So I hope that you have been inspired, or if not inspired, then at least I hope that I have given you a window into a day of what it's like when you start your first fast. It will be different for you. It's different every year for me too. It's different for my husband. He's not doing fasting as regularly as I am. I am basically trying to do it every year. He does it every 3 or 4 years. Depends on how he feels and if he wants to, detoxify his body anymore. Tomorrow, as I said, I'm not working, and tomorrow we will have a video of my second day. Tomorrow I will show you how I cook my teas, how I prepare the vegetable juice, and how my mornings look like. Tomorrow we will be getting the entry into my, you will be getting a peek into my measurements, and we'll see where we are at. I have to find the measurements of last year and see if there can be comparable. But only one, I have one side note on the entries of my journal of last year's fasting. Last year I was on sick leave when I was fasting. It had something to do with burnout. I will speak about that in a different video because it deserves a video series. But just so you know, I was at home all of the time. This year I am not at home. I am working full-time, so 8 hours a day, and I will be balancing work, fasting life. And just a heads up, it's easier, at least for me, it's easier to fast when you're working in some respect. Why? Because your day flies by quicker. If you're at home, you just, walking around, my battery died. For the conclusion of my first day fasting journey of the 3-week period, I would just like to say that every fasting is different. You as a beginner will have more problems that I do after 28 years. Why? Simply because your body is not used to not having food for such a long time. But everything can be overcome if you have a positive spirit, a positive look on life, and if you have your why. So why would you like to fast? Why do you need to fast? I know that each year I decide to fast mostly because of the detoxification and mostly for vanity reasons, because I want to lose weight. But more on that subject in later videos. For this video, I think that's enough. So just to wrap it up, if you would like to try your first fasting experience, you're welcome to comment below. I am ready for it. But before you do any further steps, I just have two instructions. I just have 2 points that you should do before you start even thinking about fasting. One, think about why you would like to do it. Is it for health reasons? Is it for vanity reasons like myself this year? Or do you have some other reasons that you would like to try it? I don't know. My first fasting experience was because I was determined to prove my parents that I could do it. So it was I was headstrong, that's it. And the second point that I would like to point out is consult your physician. I don't do it anymore because I already know what my body can take, and I know when to stop if there are too many bad days in a row, you know, I know that something is wrong. So I had to stop my fasting, I think that's 2 or 3 times before, because I knew that my body is not taking it very well. And there were different reasons for it. We can also discuss about that in future videos if you would like. But for now, if you enjoyed this video, I would really appreciate it if you give me a thumbs up, or maybe subscribe to my channel. I will be posting these videos. I planned on posting the review of every day for all of the 21-day period of fasting, the days before, the days after the fast. So it will be an interesting experience and definitely an interesting ride. So if you're up for it, join me and we can discuss our failures, discuss our findings together. And if you have any questions, you are welcome to comment below, and I will get back to them and answer you as soon as possible, and preferably with such an answer that you will try your first prolonged fasting, let's say next month.